Hey, it's Patti Scharf, CPA and co-founder of Catching Clouds, the leader in e-commerce accounting. Welcome back to our Saturday Slowdown, where I like to remind everybody to take some time to work on their business and not just in their business. Today I want to talk about assessments for a new client. So this video was inspired by a discussion I was having with one of my e-commerce accounting peeps. Their company actually does not charge for an initial assessment, and we do. And so we were talking about that because I think they were thinking that maybe they needed to do that as well and wanted to know what some of the pros and cons were. And we've actually been charging for initial assessments from practically day one. Like our business started the very end of 2011, and I look back in our finances and I think our first assessment we charged was in January of 2012. So we've been doing it from the very beginning, although in the very beginning it was a lot less and it wasn't as fine-tuned. The process wasn't as fine-tuned, and we did a crappier job back then than we do now. But in any case, there are some big reasons why we are huge proponents of doing an assessment, and I thought that this would be good information to share with all of you. And even if you're an e-commerce seller and not an accountant, I think it's good to know what it is that we're looking at and why, and why we're charging for this sort of thing. So let's hop in. Okay, reason number one is that it tells us that they're serious about becoming a client of ours. If they don't have the wherewithal to pay the $1,000 for the assessment, or they don't see value in doing it, that kind of tells us that they don't value the advice that we have. They don't value our expertise. They just aren't going to be a good fit for us. And that's really important information to have right up front. So I can't tell you how many times we've talked to people and we talk about our process and we talk about what we do, and then we say, yeah, there's a $1,000 initial assessment, and they're like, okay, see ya. And that's perfectly fine with us. I mean, we're not the right fit for everybody, and vice versa. I talk about this all the time. So it's good to know that up front, and no harm, no foul, more power to them, but they're just not a good fit for us. The second reason we charge for an initial assessment is because we literally cannot price the engagement without doing it. Because I can't tell you how many times people are like we say, hey, how many bank accounts do you have? And they tell us 2. And then we dig into their stuff and they have like 7, because I think it's kind of human nature. People just have a tendency to discount the stuff that they don't use all the time, or it's not important to them. They just, in their minds, simplify everything. So when they say that they are selling on 3 channels, what they mean is 6. And when they say that they have 3 payment processors, they mean 17. I mean, it's really kind of ridiculous how far off people can be sometimes. So we don't make people stress about it. We just take a peek under the hood ourselves, and we just learn what we need to know so that we can price the engagement appropriately. Because the worst thing that you can do is rely on what the sellers tell you their structure is, and then price an engagement one way, and then find out it's triple the amount of work when you are charging a flat fee. So it's really important to have a really deep, thorough understanding of what it is that their business needs before you start advising. I mean, it's like consulting 101. You find out where they are, you find out where they're trying to go, and then you find the solution to help fix their problems. You don't jump straight to the solution without understanding everything that's going on with them. The third reason we charge for the assessment is because what we're doing is we're providing a whole ton of expertise. So what the assessment looks like when we're all done is usually like a 30-page report, give or take a few pages, and it talks all about where their accounting is, all about the recommendations we would make to make things better. And it took us tens of thousands of hours to acquire this knowledge in e-commerce. Not to mention the years of study it took for me to become a CPA, or the years that I spent doing taxes. I mean, we spent a lot of time and energy and money to invest in ourselves in this business to build up this expertise that's going to be helping them. So I don't think it's unreasonable when we're spending a couple of days and multiple people thrown at this project to provide them with something that's really valuable and beneficial to them. I don't think it's unreasonable to charge for that. And here's the thing, if you don't value yourself enough to charge for your expertise, why do the sellers think that you have anything of value to share? Reason number 4 for doing the assessment is that it gives prospects an opportunity to see what it would be like to work with us. They can see that we're organized and that we understand accounting and that we understand e-commerce, and it just gives them a sampling of what it would be like to work with us, and to see if they would get along with us and to see that we know what we're doing. I mean, because a lot of our clients, when they sign with us, it's a huge investment of time, it's a huge investment of money. They want to make sure that they made a good decision, and doing an assessment and giving them a report back helps them feel confident about the decision that they're making. Reason number 5 is it also gives us a chance to sample what it would be like to work with them. So if they aren't organized, if they aren't responsive to our questions, if they are actually kind of mean and belligerent with our team, no, we just don't have time for that. So it gives us a chance to date. I say this all the time, that they can see what it'd be like to work with us. We get to see what it would be like to work with them. And maybe it's not a good fit, and that's good to know way up front. Okay, so after all that, if you're still not convinced and you are scared about charging for an assessment because you're afraid that people aren't going to come with you if they have to pay for the assessment, I would argue that those are the kinds of people who are super price sensitive, and they're going to force you to race to the bottom. You're going to have a bunch of clientele that are all price sensitive, and the only thing that's going to happen in your business, it'll go one of two ways. Either you're racing to keep up so that you're not killing yourself, and you will have crappy work product, because e-commerce accounting is hard as and you need to put in a lot of elbow grease to make sure that it's good quality. Or you'll have good quality, but you won't have any money, you won't have any time, and you won't have any life. And that is not why you started a business. So I think you got to do it. So you may be worried about losing out on a prospect because of charging the assessment, but what you should really be concerned about is if you get a client by doing it that way. So trust me on that one. So I hope you liked this video and found it helpful. If you did, please like, comment, and share. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and I'll catch you later.